Am I too tall? Or do I need to lower or anything? Okay. Is that better? Okay.
Hi.
Hi. Joe's gonna do some videos, he said too.
Okay.
Moving videos.
Are you sure Joe knows how to shoot any videos though? I'm concerned about Joe.
Joe, you know how to shoot videos, don't you?
Yes, I do. Maybe.
Are you being serious when you say maybe? Joe, does that mean you're going to surprise us?
We are on, right? Hey Ben, how are you?
Hi, Ben.
Talking about the Georgia rolls, the million people, right? Is that what you mean?
The election
no,
rules.
the DNC.
Yeah, the DNC.
Suing.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we want illegals.
Yes. We don't want a certification of votes.
Let me find that.
Even
again.
and they even said in quotes, even if it deems to be fraudulent.
We'll get into that then.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Tanya. Good morning, Kimberly. Thank you for sending me that, by the way, yesterday. Good morning, Greg.
Oh yeah, I should be concentrating on the show instead of trying to shoot videos.
No, it's all right. I'll go ahead and take care of our lovely patriots. Good morning, Gary. Erog.
Iraq.
Can you believe I did that? Who's Erog? How do you say Erog's name? Oh my goodness.
You remind me of Robert Plant's Simply Irresistible video today.
I do?
Now
Yeah.
I find her simply
Except for,
irresistible.
yeah, my hair would be more slicked. It wouldn't be as loose, but yes. This is my cannot do my hair this morning. Look.
That's exactly the vibe I got.
Good.
She was having a rough hair day.
Yeah.
So she put on
it
a
wasn't
sleek
even
dress
rough.
and put her hair back.
I just didn't even attempt. Threw it in a pony and then started pinning.
I have a love-hate relationship with California. Tiny says California voting to give illegal aliens loans to buy homes.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely love being in California. You know, I was there this weekend. We had a great time. I mean, Megan and I were both walking around. It's like my mother lives out there, my stepfather, my kid, or my daughter, my kids and my daughter. My
other
sister,
daughter. You know
my
that one other
sister
daughter?
and her kids live out there. I love the politics in Florida, but I would much rather be hanging out in California than Florida. So I would be. I love California. Always have.
Well, you were in a great spot too. You can't beat San Diego.
And Temecula, Marietta, Temecula, up in wine country where my mother lives. I just love it. The scenery, the vegetation, the weather, and the politics are the worst. That is the worst thing the devil did. And of course, the liberals are the party. It's the devil's party. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Joe, it's the devil's party, right?
Oh, they make it.
They should have
no
horns.
Secret.
They should have horns.
Yeah.
Coming out of the D.
Good morning, Bindi. Tanya, yes. Girl, us humid, frizzy-haired girls, we know what it's like walking around with a big old mop of hair.
Mama hair.
Mm-hmm.
At least you don't have nappy hair. Although when
That's questionable.
you know, when I first met you, you had big curly hair.
Big.
Did you used to like
Natural.
Did you used to like do the 80s frizz out hair?
Let me tell you something.
When a
Joe,
woman
I'd like
starts
for you to
by
pay
saying,
attention to this.
let me tell you something.
I did win the championship for Best Mall Bang. And it came down to the final two, and it was a girl named Jen, and I'm not going to give her last name just in case she doesn't want to be remembered for her mall bang. She thought she had me. Mall bang. Joe, you don't know mall bang?
I have no idea.
Mall bang.
Okay, it's when it went up
She bangs.
and over like this. And most girls, you had to
God,
tease
yeah.
it, and then spray it to get it to stay. But me, really, all I had to do was like pick it up because it's like my hair is like cotton candy. If I
Is that like the 80s thing? Where it
Yes.
looked like a girl like put her face up to the wall
Like,
and then
hit
just
a wall.
spray paint it. Yeah,
looked like she
okay.
ran into a wall
Yeah, I
and
had
it never went back down.
Yeah, my first
Guys
girlfriend
can do
was
their hair
there.
like that
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I was the mall bang queen.
A mall bang.
But yeah, so in my hair, that's what it'll do, Vic, if I don't blow it out straight. So I have to blow it out straight and then curl it just to have it look like a normal human head of hair. Mhm. So my middle kid, he's got the same head of hair.
Oh my
We
God,
need a
does he?
picture of the
Yes,
small
he
bang.
does. Huh?
We need you to bring in a picture of the small bang.
Oh, well, it's really easy. I mean,
When
I'm
I saw him
embarrassed to
walking
say-
up at your house with that head of hair,
Uh-huh.
I was like, whoa, look
Oh,
at that
yeah.
hair.
He's got the mom fro. That's for sure. Greg, were you the mullet man?
I was. I actually have a picture somewhere.
Were you?
Oh yeah,
Bring it in.
a glowing mullet.
I could see that. I seriously could see it.
Yeah.
It was a preppy kind of mullet though. It
Come
wasn't-
on, Joe.
I'm telling you, it wasn't like
It was
Joe
a soccer that we called the preppy mullet the soccer mullet.
probably something
Yeah.
like that.
Either had a burnout mullet or you had a soccer mullet.
It looked like this, but with long hair.
Ooh, I don't know. that I wouldn't call that the soccer mullet.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mhm.
Welcome to the show before the show, everybody.
Yes, Chris, it was similar to the something about Mary Bangs, except for it wasn't quite like that. Mhm. No, you know what, Paul? I never did glamour shots. I didn't. I thought even when those were cool, I thought there was something really weird about going up and like going like this and getting your picture taken or like this with like 18 pounds of makeup on. So I didn't go that route, but I know a lot of folks did, and I'm sure their pictures turned out lovely.
Hey now.
Good morning, Roland. Roland's still looking for us to start at 8.
Oh shoot, we gotta get in.
You know
there.
what we
Hurry
could
up.
do, Roland? What you need to do is just go back and look at some old shows from 8 to 9, just to make you feel good about it, and then roll in live with us at 9. See, fixed your problem. Good morning, Jamie.
Good morning.
Is your volume down
Hey. No, I don't think so. Is it?
on your phone?
Now it is.
Okay.
I think she thought that you clicking was up.
It was me going.
It was him actually doing it.
No, I heard an echo of his voice.
Oh,
Echo,
okay.
echo,
Yeah.
echo.
Nine o'clock, boys.
Okay. Let's do it.
Here,
Let's do
wrap
it
it up.
then. Hey guys, welcome to cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust, Megan Marie Moret, Pro Joe here as well today, rocking it on a Tuesday. It's 9 o'clock Central Time. We're here Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Central. But you can catch our original content every single day, 24/7, on all of our social media platforms, YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X. We are there with our reels and all kinds of information that we're putting out on a daily basis. Also, we are grateful when you guys come in and support us, give us stories, like, subscribe, share the show. Would love to get our Twitter accounts up. Would love to get our TikTok accounts up. We need 1,000. We need 1,000 followers. We're at like 840 something. We've gotten like 200 people in 2 weeks, which has been phenomenal. But we need 1,000 so we can go live on TikTok as well. We are grateful for everything that's going on with that. So we love it when you guys come in and give us your story ideas as well. So we're here. We're ready to rock and roll today. Also, we are grateful for any help that people gives us when it comes to, we have to pay for Megan's wardrobe. We have to pay for her makeup.
Right.
We have to pay for everything when it comes to Joe's food, Joe's weed, my hair products, all of that stuff. Anyway, what I'm getting at is if anybody ever wants to donate, we are grateful for that. And I bring that up because Paul, I just saw Paul there. There he is. Paul, we had a mutual good friend. A lot of people who go back to our days on the edge remember a woman named Roz. God bless her soul. She passed away a few years ago, but she loved the show, supported us. Paul sent me a wonderful message, said he wanted to make a donation to the show in honor of Roz because he loved her so much and they became great friends. So Paul Raymond, you see him on your chat line. He said he's going to be giving a donation. So we want to say thank you to Paul. Give a shout out to Paul for doing that. I invited him onto the show to talk about Roz.
I thought you were coming onto the show, Paul.
And he said that, he had to work and that happens sometimes.
Yes, it does. We do have to work.
Yes, but we are grateful for that. Anything helps us keep us go. That's what we're always doing. The advertisers, we come here, we do everything we possibly can. We study this. We do the show all day. We've tried to get into other parts of the business. So we're grateful for the people who try to support us and have in the past. And we haven't forgotten donations that we've gotten in the past. But if you're on your phone, you can click on the menu button with the donation button. Or if you go on your laptop and click a donation, that helps us. Anything helps us continue to go. We're also throwing around for people who don't like the fact that we went down to an hour to see how this goes for a while. Maybe a membership, maybe where we do an extra 30 minutes to help us keep going. Because this isn't easy. We have damn good quality. We do. This show is damn good. Our content is top notch. Our look is top notch. Our distribution is top notch, and you can't do it for free. You can't. And we have a wonderful studio where we're doing all kinds of things and we're continuing to grow, but we appreciate anything people can do to support us. So it takes money. Or if you have advertisers that you think we should hook up with, let us know. So I want to get all that out there. I know sometimes it can be boring for people, but we have to take care of our homework and get that done, housekeeping. So we thank you again for the donation, Paul. Thank you. Okay, now we jump into the topics of the day, and there's a lot of stuff going on. I love the fact, here's the thing. A woman likes it when a man knows what he wants, right?
I would say so.
Well, a man likes it when a woman knows what she wants too.
Let's go.
Especially when you go out to dinner. Are you hungry? I don't care.
Okay. Yeah.
What do you want to eat? I don't care. Do you ever give that answer? And
No.
Are you serious?
No.
You
Oh my
always do?
gosh. There's probably only 3 things that I'll eat on the menu, so I'm ready. I always
Well,
know.
that.
So.
Oh, you're selective.
Yes. But I don't make a big deal about it. I don't talk about it for
What do you
20
eat? What do you eat?
minutes.
What are the 3 things that you would eat on a menu?
Any kind of like a poke bowl. So I don't
what?
eat like a poke bowl.
A poke.
Yeah. Like, it's like raw tuna and like rice and vegetables, something like that. A lot of places are doing that, adding that on their menu now, but I don't eat red meat. I don't eat pork. I don't need anything on a bone. No eyeballs, no skin, no fuzz, no fur, no scales. Nothing like
No
that.
fuzz, no
No, none of that. I haven't my entire life since I was a kid. It's not because I do love animals. Everybody that knows me knows I love, love, love animals, but it has nothing to do with that. I just don't like the look of it, the smell of it, the thought of it, anything. So, yeah. So it's usually pretty easy for me. Yeah.
I like meat. I like vegetables. And unfortunately, something was just introduced into my life about 2 weeks ago unintentionally. And I hope to God I don't see them in a gas station anywhere because I'll probably eat them all. Nerd clusters.
Oh, my kids love those. I look at them
These
and I watch
things are
them.
incredible. I'm like, what the hell has just happened in my mouth?
Oh, I know, your poor teeth. I just can't. I can't. I watch my kids eat those and I'm like, oh gosh, here, go back to the dentist. Get in the car. Let's go. Let's get you a filling.
So you knew I got into that whole thing because you knew exactly what you wanted to start with today. And this is a great spot. I'm sorry, people, the freaking Democrats. The DNC has filed a lawsuit against the state of Georgia for a law they just passed, which was banning illegals from voting in their election. Let me repeat this for you. The DNC just filed a lawsuit against the state of Georgia for passing a law that would stop illegals from voting in the state of Georgia. If you are a Democrat or call yourself a Democrat and you think this is great, it shows who you are. If you are a Democrat in the state of Georgia and you don't complain about this or become a Republican, it shows exactly who you are. Once again, the Democrats have filed a lawsuit against the state of Georgia for doing this. But we shouldn't be surprised because just a few weeks ago in Congress, every single Democrat voted against showing ID and voted against stopping illegals from voting in the election. If you are a Democrat and you support this, you are a coward. You are a cheater. And of course, the national local media won't cover this because they're fake news.
If you are a Democrat or just a human being that wants to have a democracy in our country, why in the world would you try to stand in between certifying electoral votes? Why? I mean, it's just so blatantly obvious what your intention is. You don't want it to be fair. To come forward, to have the audacity to say, no, we don't want to do that. That's really gonna hurt the Democratic Party. If you make sure that these elections are counted for and certified, it can't happen. And it's like, I can't even believe that. So basically, if you're a judge and you have to pass this in each county, you are basically making a choice. You either want a fair election or you don't. So, I mean, you could go somewhere like Fulton County, where it looks as though everybody that works in the judicial system is corrupt.
Yes.
You could have
evidence
someone
of that from 2020.
That's right. You could have a judge that's going to come in and say, you know what? Nah, we don't do that here. We don't think that it's necessary to have a fair election. We don't think that it's necessary to count the votes and certify them and make sure that everything was done the correct way. Is juvenile and is immature as that sounds, that is exactly what they are saying. They don't want a certification. And so the DNC is now suing to make sure that this does not happen. That is exactly what we're saying. It's as easy and as simple as that. Who do you want to be? What side do you want to be on? Do you want to be for fair election, or do you want to be for a party that anything goes?
Well, this is happening at the same time that Texas is also removing 1.1 million ineligible people from voter rolls, including dead people and illegals. There are states that are trying to correct the problems, like Georgia and Texas. And then you have freaking Democrats trying to stop what's going on.
Yeah.
You can't make this stuff up.
Well, and you have to have an ID for almost anything nowadays. I mean, you have to have an ID for health insurance. You had to have an ID to get into the DNC.
You have to have an ID to play little league sports.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you have to have an ID to do all
To
of
get
these
on
things.
a plane.
But if you come to this country illegally, you don't have to have any sort of ID to do just about anything. And that includes voting. The fact that that individual states are trying to pass laws to make sure that you have to be a citizen of the United States of America to vote who the next leader of our country is going to be, that is demonstrative. It should not be happening. It should be across the board. That is what our Constitution is made and based from: fair elections and a vote, not just to open our back door, let everybody flood in and vote for whoever they think is going to give them the most freebies. That's what this is about. So, I mean, if people wanted to just start going around and going, you know what, I don't think that I should have to show my ID for this, that, or the other. Can you imagine the chaos and the anarchy that would happen if people just decided, well, if we don't have to show, an ID to vote, well, then why do I have to show an ID for anything else? And that's where we're at in this beautiful country of ours with Joe Biden at the wheel.
But that's not it. The DNC trying to do that. We'll continue to try to follow what's happening with that story. However, in the midst of all of this, like I said, there is hope. Texas is trying. Georgia is trying. This is more than what we saw in 2020. And I know this isn't a surprise to many people. We saw it already coming, but it was admitted by Mark Zuckerberg yesterday. The Biden-Harris administration pressured Facebook to censor Americans. We already knew this. Once again, in the year 2021, 17 million posts, misinformation labeled as posts, were deleted from Facebook regarding COVID. Okay. Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook admitting this. Why is he doing this? Well, I don't know. Maybe he's a Republican now. Maybe a whistleblower is coming out to try to get ahead of it. I don't know. Maybe he's being paid, but Facebook censored Americans. They did. This is what Mark Zuckerberg said. And we like Facebook, but it's what they said they did. They also admitted to throttling the Hunter Biden laptop story.
Yeah.
They
sure did.
They also said the Russian hoax information was false now, that they were trying to eliminate people from talking about it being false because the White House, Joe Biden, comrade Kamala Harris, were putting pressure on Facebook to only put out messages that they wanted, censoring free speech. This is a big win for free speech, in my opinion, because Mark Zuckerberg also said that Facebook would not be doing that anymore, that they now have checks and balances in place. We will see. You guys can keep us posted.
There's something going on with Mark Zuckerberg. Not sure what it is, but when he came out publicly after the attempted assassination on President Trump, when he came out and he said, that was badass. That's what he said, quote. He said, to see that kind of strength and resilience in someone.
Quote, by the way.
Yeah, well, we know that about you.
He took my quote of badass.
Yeah,
that's badass.
Yeah, well, we know you. That's why you wear that sticker that says I'm a bad A on it.
I do.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, that'd be cool.
But anyway, something is going on with him, and I don't know if it's, good or bad, if he's up to something, but for him to come out publicly and say that about President Trump and how great he thought him standing up and saying fight, 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 and just him being so brave and really being a symbol of strength for our country, I thought that was huge. But then today, to hear him say publicly, yes, in fact, the government did pressure Facebook to censor things talking about the pandemic and the cupcakes. That was a huge relief to me because for so long he denied it, and so did the government. And there were so many people that were trying to fight this and were trying to go. I mean, it went to the Supreme Court. I don't know if you guys remember this. Yeah. What was that, about 6-8 weeks ago?
Yeah. And didn't they okay that it was okay for the government to pressure?
They said, so there were 4 people that really, pioneered this lawsuit. Okay. And they came forward and they said, hey, look, we were censored big time. But the Supreme Court at the end of it said, okay, We see that happened. However, you did not show us how this harmed you personally or job-wise or anything, how you had to prove harm for the censorship. They weren't able to produce harm. I'm not sure what they were wanting. I mean, did they want you to, unalive yourself? What were they looking for? I mean,
I don't know what the criteria.
Yeah, so you had to prove that kind of censorship brought harm to you. Okay, whether it was you lost a job, insurance, whatever. So they lost.
Country.
Exactly. So that was really, I was bummed out by that. I thought, gosh, I cannot believe that they are literally going to just turn their cheek to this. I mean, these people they've proved that they were being censored left and right, canceled left and right. And this is only 4 of hundreds of thousands of Americans, me being one, okay, that was censored through the pandemic. So now we've got the guy who owns it is coming out and he's saying, yes, in fact, you were being censored. You were being canceled during this time. The Biden administration put pressure to make sure that what they called was misinformation or disinformation, which was really the truth being told. They wanted to suppress that. So now he's saying yes. And not only with the pandemic, but also with the Hunter Biden laptop. You have to remember that Trump was in a place, of campaigning during this time. Is he going to win or is he going to lose? Now, don't you think that if all of us as the American people, if we truly, truly had more knowledge about the Hunter laptop and just how disgusting and corrupt all of that truly is, I truly believe in my heart of hearts, I truly believe that would have helped Trump get ahead, whether it was by, a little step or leaps and bounds. I don't know.
I think we're still being censored.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's ask
we
our
are.
Listeners, did everybody get your notification this morning that we came online?
Does everybody have to sign up for that?
No. I never signed up for it.
You have to, once you subscribe, you get notifications.
Yeah. I still don't anymore, Vic. I haven't for months now. So, but the point is there should never be anything suppressed coming from our government or our presidential administration for anything. Talk about unfair, talk about un-Republican, undemocratic. That should never happen. So today, when I heard that was, of all the things that happening, good or bad, in our country today, that was the one thing that stood out the most to me, because that's where we need to start going. We need the Mark Zuckerbergs, we need the RFKs, we need the Tulsi Gabbards, we need all of these people that have tended to be a little bit more left of center to be waking up and letting everybody know, hey, this is what's happening. This is what's going on.
Well, it'd be really cool if Zuckerberg turned out to be a hero, but I'm not seeing it happen.
Yeah, I don't know I think that we might be holding our breath on that one, but
right.
I'll take these little tidbits for what they're worth. And if we can just keep gaining more traction, I think it's really going to be huge. Now, whether or not the mainstream media is going to let people know what Mark Zuckerberg said. I didn't switch my television this morning. I didn't go to CNN. I didn't go to MSNBC.
They're not.
But
because here's what national media does. Case in point, CNN this morning talking about the debate from yesterday. The headline in the story read like this: Donald Trump having second thoughts about doing debate now because he wants to mute the mics. Doesn't say anything about they had a plan in place. They'd already agreed that Donald Trump wants to mute the mics, but Kamala Harris wants to keep them open. Her campaign said that by keeping them open, it will show the true Donald Trump and how mean he is, and he will hurl insults, whereas Donald Trump wants the muted mics because it'll stop him from being him. That was a little effing story on CNN.
Yeah.
That's how they spun it. This is what local media does. This is what national media does. And they come after us too. They attack us for what we do if they get a chance. Well, you guys say fake news and that's bad for us. I've heard it. Trust me. I've talked to local news about it. They won't tell you the full story. They just won't.
And that's one of many examples, Vic, of how this Kamala Harris campaign is flip-flopping. So a couple months ago, the
Flip-flop.
Biden...
Did you say
I
flip-flop?
said flip-flop. So the Biden-Harris administration said that they absolutely did not want to leave the mics open because it just wasn't right. People should not have to hear the afterthoughts and the mumbling and the grumbling and the attacks coming back. It should just be clean cut it off. That's what's fair. Now, all of a sudden, it's a 360-degree turn. They want to leave the mics open. What happened? Why all of a sudden is this the way that you feel about this? Are you going to antagonize Donald Trump?
Anything to cause conflict so they can spin it.
Well, they're spending it right now, too, because now Kamala Harris has also said that she's willing to spend hundreds of millions of dollars to build border walls, saying that we need the border walls now. That's actually happening. And it's interesting because the Donald Trump team, they're doing what they can to put it out. Now, it's an uphill battle. That's why we do what we do. But it's an uphill battle for conservatives, especially to get the message out, because the national media is controlled by communists. It's controlled by the liberal media. It is controlled by this messaging. Now, Americans are waking up. I just hope that they wake up fast enough. I do believe that the majority of Americans are red, white, and blue patriots. I do. I don't believe the national media. I don't believe that this woman, this twit, this half-brained comrade, as she is referred to, lousy politician who doesn't understand policy, who is not very intelligent, does not know how to speak, fake, phony, worst vice president in history of our country, was somehow neck and neck because the media said she was. Donald Trump's campaign did an awesome job. Check out this ad, because what it does is it plays Kamala in a debate versus guess who? Kamala. Because she'll say whatever it takes now to get elected. Barack Obama is intelligent, but he has shown us to be evil. He has shown us to be arrogant. The Jake Sullivans of the world, they will do and tell you whatever they need to tell you to try to get elected and then forget about it. And they won't do it. Donald Trump tells you he's going to do something and he does it. Check out this brilliant ad put together. It's really quick, but here it is.
Everyday prices are too high. Food, rent, gas, back to school clothes. That is called Bidenomics. A loaf of bread cost 50% more today. Ground beef is up almost 50%. There's not much left at the end of the month. Bidenomics is working. The price of housing has gone up. It feels so hard to just be able to get ahead. And we are very proud of Bidenomics.
Yeah, we are.
Everyday prices.
They're such idiots. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be mean, but I don't know how Democrats can even be Democrats, because those are the people you have to vote for.
Yeah,
but follow.
Okay, let me just say this about the wall. She wants to spend hundreds of millions of dollars to get this wall back up. She needs to ask her boss what he did with all of the material that was there ready to be stood up and built for this wall that Donald Trump had there. She needs to ask him what he did. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I sold it all off. Yeah. So it's already been bought and paid for. Guess who's paying for that wall again? Yeah. We know who it's going to be. So we had everything right there ready to go. He let some of it get picked off by whoever wanted to take it, and he sold the rest of it off. So they need to think about everything that they've done up to this point and quit trying to make the American people look stupid. Stop trying to treat us like we're stupid. We know that wall was bought and paid for. Maybe not all of it, but a lot of it. And now guess what? We got to start right back at the beginning, and we are going to pay for that wall again and make her look like the hero in the meantime. I don't think so. That it's so unfair in so many ways that she really does. I mean, she treats the American people like we're just a bunch of dummies and we don't get it. And she's going to continue to do that throughout the rest of her campaign as she's running. She's going to act like she's the one who came up with not taxing tips. She's going to act like she's the one who's been wanting, to do fracking all along. We already know that she's the one acting like her and Biden wanted to secure the border And the bipartisan deal was rejected by the Republicans and Trump. It's all a lie.
And don't be afraid to say what you want to say around liberal friends in a polite manner, persistent manner, but don't be surprised if they're not, it's a pride issue. Some people will call it a mental health issue. They're not going to change. If you're a Democrat, you're a Democrat. You're not changing. You're just not at this point in the game. You're not. You will vote for Hayden Harris, even though she refuses to do press conferences, even though she can't handle the heat. And, I'm going to say what a lot of people won't. She's not intelligent enough. And it's not because she's a woman, because there are super intelligent women everywhere. Women that could be president. She's not one of them. And Megan and I are in the same age. She is not one of them.
No, she's not.
And on top of it, she's a liar. She's a snake. She's a snake. She's a cheater. She's a liar. And then you add those combinations with not being an intelligent woman on top of it. Oh my God. That's why she was the worst vice president in the history of the country. Yes. That's why the media has to carry her across the finish line, because she can't do it herself.
Yes. And Jeannie, 100% I agree with you. I am sick and tired of these people throwing our money around as though it's theirs. They're not pulling out a penny for any of this. It's us. It's the American taxpayers that are having to pay for all of this monkey business left and right. And someone else just said too, how about all of the money that we send to Ukraine in order, if we get a wall built, then we have to give more money to Ukraine. And that was exactly my point. When they brought that bipartisan bill to the table, it wasn't just a, hey guys, let's secure the border. And the Republicans said no because they had Trump in their ear. No, they added a little extra bonus to that legislation. And that was, we need to send more money to Ukraine, but they don't talk about that. So, our leaders do not talk about that. The mainstream media does not talk about that. So then we've got half of our country, the Democrats, thinking that the Republicans all of a sudden just don't want a secure border now, when we should have had a secure border all the way up until this point. It was Joe Biden that went in, flipped what Trump had already done, was feeling the heat and the pressure because, people were coming in, they were raping, murdering our American citizens. We had terrorists running around our country like it was a playground. So yeah, he felt the heat, and he should have just done what he had the right to do and secure the border. He didn't need to bring a bipartisan bill. So all of this stuff, again, they just treat us like we're dumb. And it's not a left or right thing. Do you think, Vic? This is just common sense. Walls, we're trying to keep people safe here. And I feel like us as Americans, we're owed that.
No,
we're owed that. Use a door. You don't have to climb a wall to come into our country. There's a door. And if you come in the right way, we'll open the door and allow you to come.
Well, we're about facts. We're not about feelings. We're about facts, not fiction on the show first. It's always facts, not opinions, facts, not emotion, facts, not lies. And guess what? The best part about this whole situation is the fact that you have a chance. America has a chance to make things right, to get back on track, at least for a little bit. And the fact that, and I promise you, the national media will lie, cheat, and steal and tell you that things are as they are not. There is no way in hell independents are going to vote for Kamala Harris over Donald Trump. No effing way. You now have the two biggest independent politician names backing Donald Trump. First, it was RFK Jr. in a massive speech. He undid everything that happened at the DNC, all the lies, in about 15 minutes last Friday. Yesterday, Tulsi Gabbard comes out, the other big independent, and she supports Donald Trump. It doesn't get any bigger than this, but the national media, local media will not cover it. We will, which is why it's so important that we continue to do what we do and stay where we stay.
Yes.
RFK, we'll get to Tulsi in a second. RFK did an interview with one of my favorites of all time, Tucker Carlson, many other favorites. And he explains why he's a Democrat, or why he is backing Trump. And he explained what's happening with the Democratic Party. The national media will not tell you the truth about who the Democratic Party has become. For me, it's not a pride issue. I'm not trying to win the battle with people. I legitimately care. Megan legitimately cares about people making the right choice for them, themselves, or families, and not being lied to anymore. You know what? Sometimes people will lie to us and we continue to believe the lies because we want to believe it. And sometimes at one point in time, we'll realize, okay, you were right. I was being lied to. I didn't want to believe that I was being lied to, but now I have to accept that as a human and move on. Well, here's RFK talking about what the Democratic Party has become, and Democrats are lying to themselves if they don't think this is what the Democratic Party has become. And this is one of the major reasons why RFK Jr. is now supporting Donald Trump.
An endorsement like and throughout American history, and there's history books that are written about the realignments. I think there's about 5 of them, and one of those is clearly happening now because you see on so many issues, you've had an inversion. The Democratic Party has become the party of the elites. It used to be the party of the poor and the working class. In fact, there was a study that came out just recently that I saw that showed that 70%, that the people who voted for Biden own 70% of the wealth in this country. The people who voted for Trump own 30%. And so
I believe that.
Right. So you're seeing this realignment happen where the elites, where Wall Street, where the big tech, big pharma, the big banking houses are all now Democratic, and that the working class, the middle class, the cops, the firefighters, Sean O'Brien, the head of the Teamsters Union, spoke.
Good guy.
A great guy, great guy. Really love him, but he spoke at the Democratic convention. The Republican convention rather than Democratic convention. So you're seeing this big alignment, and even on environmental issues. It's so weird to me because the Democrats have become subsumed in this carbon orthodoxy, and you and I have talked about this, that the only issue is carbon. And what that's done is it's forced them to do something that you should never do if you're an environmentalist.
We can get out
which
there.
Is to commoditize.
Robert Kennedy Jr., RFK Jr., speaking about how the Democrats have become the party of the elites. And we've been saying this for years on this show about the Hollyweird. It's the Hollywood elites. They're the Democrats. It's not Republicans, everyday average people like us. It's these elites and people who want to be elite. 70% of the wealth voted with Joe Biden in 2020, only 30% with Donald Trump. That shows you that everything that they do, they'll point at you and say you're doing and are what they actually are themselves. It is the classic sign of narcissism, which shows that the Democrats are a party of narcissists.
Absolutely. And it just goes to show
Prove
again.
me I'm wrong. We invite people on all the time. Prove me I'm wrong, and I will apologize. I will admit that I'm wrong, but show me facts, not feelings, facts, not feelings, because there's so many just emotional, erratic, unhinged Democrats out there that don't talk in fact or policy. They talk in emotions and how dare you, you're a hater. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Well, and he continues to try to make the point that the Democratic Party is not what it used to be. It's as easy as that. It has changed, just like what he said. It used to be a party for the poor, the underserved, and the leaders of the Democratic Party were also in a different league. It has completely changed. He is saying right now that it truly is the party of the elites. Now, when we say that, they probably go, darn right it is, and pat themselves on the back. It's not supposed to be a compliment to you at all. We need people that are seeing real Americans, true Americans, working Americans, and fight for Americans. Kamala Harris, all she wants to do is talk about the middle class, as though the lower class, the impoverished, and the people that are above the middle class, some of which have worked their entire lives to get where they are. That's what the American dream's about. So we're supposed to punish the people like you, Kamala, that have money and have more than middle class America. We're all Americans. And if you are going to run your campaign and say that I'm for all Americans, then be for all Americans and quit trying to just talk about one class. Okay. And as far as we're talking about people lying to themselves, the Democrats lying to themselves. I saw a comment earlier on our chat from our lovely daily guest, Mark Harris, that said that, Trump, as far as securing the border, when that bill was brought to Congress, he said,
I can't wait to go with this.
So the comment was that was going to pass until Trump said no.
Wrong.
I don't remember him ever being there, okay, in that room with the House and the Senate or any of them and saying yay or nay. I did not know that he had the ability to do that. Did anyone else? Did anyone else know that our former president Trump
it
has
wasn't
the
just
ability?
that bill. What they did is Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, they stuffed a bunch of bullshit crap into it and would not allow a solo vote on the border.
Right.
But Mark still lives at home with his parents.
Right.
Okay.
So,
he's in the basement.
So Marky.
But Mark also said that 200 Republicans.
That's where I was going with
but
it.
That's not true. But here's the problem with people like Mark Drew and other Democrats. Mark is a sign of a Democrat, not very intelligent, half-wit, just has maybe a teeny bit of the story. And only half the story. And I learned about this in news and people like this for a long time. And I feel sorry for him. I really hope that he gets the help that he needs someday by somebody. But sometimes people don't change. And he'll die miserable at some point. But there is hope. And I do pray that Jesus finds you and helps you, Mark, and gives you at least a brain to understand truth and not to try to dirty minds. 200 former Bush, McCain, and Romney staffers have come forward. Been paid to come forward and say that they're endorsing Harris. These are, once again, Bush, McCain, and Romney staffers, the same three who said they would never vote for Trump under any circumstance, the same three who Trump called out as being, as you know what they are, rhinos, the same three who have backed Democrats, the same three who have had their careers ruined because Donald Trump called them to light like the cockroaches they are.
That's right.
It is what it is.
Here's my question. If you're basically, you said that Donald Trump.
They're Republicans in name only called rhinos. That's what I just said.
That's right. Well, but if Donald Trump is so powerful and he had the ability to stop this, you said that this bill was going to go through until Donald Trump put the squash on it. But then what you need to remember when you make a comment like that is you can't turn around 20 seconds later and then say that these Republicans are supporting Kamala Harris. So which one is it? Is he so powerful that he has a stronghold on Republicans to make these decisions, or does he not? Because you can't have both.
Yeah, we're giving him too much airtime.
Yeah, but you know what? Hopefully, just, by the small chance that there are other liberal, progressive Democrats, people that like to live in denial, live under a rock, live in a bubble, are listening. Do your homework. We all want what's best for this country.
Many Americans are too lazy to do their homework, and hopefully they do. I agree with you. I do agree with you.
Yeah.
But the tides are changing because we showed RFK. How about Tulsi Gabbard yesterday? Tulsi Gabbard coming full circle. This woman, this former Democrat who is not a Republican, she's an independent. I want you to understand how far she has come, because during 2020 and during the election, she said some very not so nice things about Donald Trump and ripped him up and down, just like RFK Jr. But they see, oh my God, Harris or Trump? Are you kidding? There's no contest. Why do you think these people have come full circle? Look at Tulsi yesterday on stage, trumping for Trump because she realizes what the Democratic Party has come. And by the way, she was put on the terrorist watch list, and she still is, because of how she verbally assaulted and undressed Kamala Harris during the presidential primaries in 2020. For the crime that she committed, the debate crime that she committed by just absolutely abusing and ending the political career at that time of Kamala Harris, which is why you should also know the fix is in. that they needed somebody. She has not won elections. She has been pulled through. Tulsi Gabbard, one of my favorite politicians on the planet, even though I don't agree with all of her policies, I just love who she is.
We as Americans must stand together to reject this anti-freedom culture of political retaliation and abuse of power. We can't allow our country to be destroyed by politicians who will put their own power ahead of the interests of the American people, our freedom, and our future. I am proud to stand here before you today, whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, or an independent. If you love our country, as I do, if you cherish peace and freedom as we do, I invite you to join me in doing all that we can to save our country and elect President Donald J. Trump and send him back to the White House to do the tough work of saving our country and serving the people. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Hell yes.
Freedom.
Here's the other thing. That is an intelligent woman. Kamala is a unintelligent woman. And how do we know that? Well, because she has not done anything as a politician and she can't speak and she hides from the media. Tulsi is not afraid. Tulsi was a super politician, somebody who used to rip Donald Trump, and now she sees what's going on. First RFK Jr. on a Friday, Tulsi Gabbard on a Monday. This is unprecedented. This has never happened in the history of our country when it comes to politics.
I was just asking that same question. When in history has this ever happened?
No, you haven't. This is unprecedented what is happening for Donald Trump, but the media will not cover us, our podcast, our shows. We will. And we're going to continue to, and it's up to you. That's why this is the people's platform. It is your show. And as Glenn says on the chat line, this is simply what you call winning.
Yes, it is.
Don't let the media lie to you. Americans are winning. And I'm telling you, the support is there. But the media will tell you and try to cheat you. And so will the government up until the day of election and after. Do not do that. And Tulsi Gabbard blows. That is why Tulsi Gabbard ended Kamala Harris at that point in time.
Down.
Oh, she did.
She put the smack down.
I'm sorry.
She didn't know what to
I feel
say.
bad. It's not like I want to revel in Kamala's unintelligence. It's just Tulsi is so much smarter.
Well, you revel.
I wish I was as intelligent as Charlie Kirk, but you know what? He's more intelligent than I am.
Right. Well, and what I'd like to see is we should take a tally when this much anticipated from me, when this debate happens in September, how many times she says to Trump, because this is all she does when she's in a debate, is says, I am speaking. Excuse me. I am speaking. That's all she says because she's nervous. I don't know if that's when she's trying to get some thoughts together in her mind, but she for some reason thinks that she can come in and command and demand people.
You know what it is? It's an entitlement factor.
Most definitely.
And she has lived with an entitlement situation about her.
Well, and she does it even when she's at her own rallies. If anyone says anything, that she doesn't want to hear, she will stop in the middle and say, I am speaking. And it's like, who cares? All the
Republicans have united around Trump. It's only the neocons, the warmongers, the rhinos like Romney and McCain and Bush, the Bushes who are good friends with the Obamas. And of course, just remember, the only president where there was not war while they were president was Donald Trump. There is a reason why when he stands near them, it's like, what does not belong in this picture? It's Donald Trump. And there's a reason why everybody continues to go after him. Even Jack Smith, they're not going to stop their attacks. Even Jack Smith's trying to get the case put back in Georgia because they know Trump is kicking the shit out of them. He is destroying their ideas. He is destroying everything that they have. And guess what? The Democrats, the DNC, all of that bullshit, the lies, that was it. That was their biggest gusto. They have nothing else. And then how does Trump follow it up? RFK Jr. support, Tulsi Gabbard support, and it's all washed away. They have nothing. All they can do now is run fake news stories because they don't have anything. And this is the best part about it. It's always great when black street rappers say, F you, Democrats. They see what you've done. They see how you've handled their families for decades and generations. They see the inner cities. They see how they're blue. They see how leaders have done nothing but steal money, not really care about them. They see what Donald Trump has done for them. And you know what? They're like, screw this. We're going to be honest about it. Now you have a chart-topping rapper from Detroit coming out with a song about Donald Trump. And then you have blacks that say, he's not going to get 10%. He's going to get close to 20, if not 20. And I love it when you have rappers who are coming out and doing what they're doing right now. Case in point, Detroit rapper right here, 420 Dugg.
You don't like snitches, me and Trump the same nigga. On my red hat, red back, matching the soda. I got them turned, say it's our turn, we need them voting. Immunity, free cheese, we need them both. Pardons, big meats, we need them home. Starting 2024, I don't agree with the police shit, but yeah, right. Whole hook could be back turned. You don't like snitches.
420 Dugg.
Yes.
420 Dugg, a chart-topping rapper from Detroit. And this was a shock to many. I'm not kidding you. This was a shock.
Yeah.
But more and more rappers, more and more black people coming out to support Donald Trump because they're not afraid anymore. Because they're like, damn, you felt like I did, man. All the Democrats do is wrong us. And the worst part about it is many times it's black Democrats screwing over black citizens. It's black on black crime from a political standpoint, and it's sad.
Yeah, but nobody wants to talk about that. Just like your everyday black on black crime. It doesn't matter. It shouldn't be in the stats.
You're in the city all the time.
Yep. It doesn't count. It's only when it's white skin color against black skin color, or when you, like you just said, in a political arena, when it's Democrat or Republican and how they're treating the black communities. And it's all for years and years now. And there are so many Democrats that I know, and I have spoken to personally about this, that will agree that the Democrats have done zero for the black communities. And they are finally figuring it out. They are finally looking around and saying, look, if we do things different, our opportunities are going to be different. They're not going to try to keep us down. They're going to give us, not a hand out, but a hand up, and try to help us out of where we're at. And it can happen. But when you want to have control over people, you don't want them to rise. You don't want to hold them up. You don't want to help them out. You want to keep them right where they're at so that you can still have control. That's just a normal way of life when it comes to having control over people. So it's nice to see. And I don't care if you're a black rapper, you're a black store owner, you're a student, you're a teacher, you're a doctor, you're a cab driver, whatever. It doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is a lot of people that are from these inner city or low income black communities are figuring it out. Are there black people that are middle class, upper class, billionaires? Absolutely. I mean, of course there are. But when you have people that are coming from this side of the tracks that are coming out and they're saying, hey, you know what? We're waking up. That's when you have to really take a look at that. And, and I hope that more and more people,
the best
black,
part
white,
is,
yellow, purple, I don't care what color you are. Come on, wake up.
The best part is, Megan, is that Donald Trump's going to those black communities where Kamala isn't.
No, of course she's not.
Donald Trump showed up in Detroit with that pastor, and he called out the Democratic Party and said that Donald Trump has done more for the black community than any black politician that he's ever met. And that's the best part about those things that are happening. But it's not just, as we showed you, independents who are waking up for Donald Trump. It's not just liberals who in some cases are waking up for Donald Trump. It's not just the black community who is waking up for Donald Trump. We're talking about hardcore Democratic strategists like Brett Weinstein. Brett Weinstein is no Republican. He has been no independent. Super popular, very intelligent Democrat who is now even saying there's no way in hell he's going to vote for Kamala and considering Donald Trump. People, wake up. And we're glad people are waking up. You are not alone. I'm telling you, you're in the majority when it comes to Donald J. Trump.
Absolutely. Let me just be perfectly clear about this. I think the modern Democratic Party is an existential threat to the Republic. And although I am a Democrat, I've been a Democrat my whole life, the party that I see in front of me today is literally the inverse of the party I signed up for. This is now the party of war, This is the party of racism. This is the party of censorship. I don't recognize this party. There is no conceivable scenario in which I would vote for Kamala Harris. I just simply will not do it. Am I open to voting for Trump? I am. I'm especially open to it if he is partnered with Bobby Kennedy, because what that tells me is that my values, which are a much closer match for Bobby's, are represented in that administration. And that's really what I want. I want a coalition to redefine American politics because, frankly, we have a long-standing problem with corruption, which has now turned into something else with the modern Democratic Party. But we need to rethink the way we govern ourselves so that corruption is not the dominant force. And a coalition is the way we're going to do that.
Okay, that is one of the best soundbites. Joe, is there a way where we can save that? Like, and just keep that? Because Brett is an author, American podcaster. By the way, this guy is a professor of evolutionary biology. The guy, he is as Democrat as it gets.
Yeah.
And he is now saying, you know what? Now that RFK has come with Donald Trump, I'm probably going to vote for Donald Trump. It's not Kamala Harris. The Democratic Party is no longer what it was. It's smoke and mirrors. It's a media hype game. And I just pray that Democrats and people who call themselves just wake up. I know the people aren't going to change because I already took the worst sin that there is pride, and it's a biblical standpoint. And sometimes it's very difficult for people to admit that they're wrong. If you're able to admit that you're wrong a lot and just, hey, I'm sorry, I'm wrong, it becomes easier. But most people don't get to that point. They just don't. And they're not going to say, you know what, I was wrong about Donald Trump. They won't.
Yeah.
They won't. Weinstein.
Yeah. Humility is a beautiful thing. Look it up. It's my favorite word in the
Really?
dictionary.
I learned something new about you today.
Favorite word.
Not that you just look like Robert Plant's Simply Irresistible dancers today from the 80s.
Yeah, you know it from the 80s. I did.
Do you remember that, Joe?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, sorry.
All she needs is a guitar.
I digress.
That's right.
I dance.
And bright red lipstick. Didn't they wear bright red?
Yes, very bright.
Lipstick?
Yeah.
And pill skin.
Yes, exactly. Which I do have that as well. But right, guys, we know that this is a little bronzer. But what I loved that he said were two things. I love that he said that he's talking about values. He's talking about the values of Donald Trump. He's talking about the values of, RFK. And nobody talks about that right now. So, everybody's trying to run their campaign. Everybody's talking about policy, everybody wants to hear Kamala Harris talk. But the thing is nobody's talking about values. Values clearly are not a priority right now in our country, as we saw at the DNC, where their priorities are. Their priorities are, having abortion trucks, vasectomy trucks. That's where their values are. So if we can start looking at the values of people and what they want and what's important and how our country is going to climb out of the pit of the toilet that we're in right now, it's going to take value. And I love when people like that come out and say that. He didn't use policy, he used values. The other thing that I love that he said was it's going to take a coalition, to get where we need to be as a country. And that's exactly it. It shouldn't be about left or right or center. It's just coming together and doing what's right for our country. And most of what I see going on, as far as Donald Trump is concerned, it's just common sense. There's no reason
he's the most
in the
common
world.
sense. He's the most common sense politician I can remember seeing running for president.
Right. And I like
but
to
that's
think
why he's the most attacked candidate we've ever seen running for president. It's
that's
not even
right.
close.
Because he doesn't have time for all this whiny emotion. Oh, that just doesn't feel right. And this and that and the other.
Being a leader is not easy. Making decisions is not easy. And being the president, which is supposed to be the most difficult job, most responsibility-oriented job in the country, is not easy. You've got to show up. You got to make decisions. You can't run and hide like Biden did. And of course, like Kamala Harris is running and hiding, like a coward comrade commie she is right now because she won't talk. Hayden Harris. That's another good name.
Yeah, for sure. Hayden Harris.
Trump's continuing to roll. I love this viewer, and we take your information and you guys send things. This was sent to me by Chris. He's like, this is what you call team unity. This is what Donald Trump is building and putting together across our country. This is team unity.
Yes,
Donald
it
Trump on
is.
the front, JD Vance, RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, Elon Musk, Vivek. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, right here.
Those are 6 of the most intelligent, hardcore, leading people, diverse as you want to get when it comes to politics.
Yep, Captain America right there up front, center, and ready. And look at him. I mean, he's taking a bullet. He's ready. Did everybody forget about that he was shot?
Yeah, people want to forget about that.
Right. And here he is. And he's just that it has not slowed him down one single second. He is out. He's still got, bounties on his head. He's got crazy people after him trying to take him out. No. And look at him.
And Dan Bongino won't let anybody forget.
Yeah, I know. He won't. And we don't have time to get into Bongino today. We're going to do that tomorrow. He had a great 5 minutes yesterday testifying about what has happened with that. We just don't, I would love to get into it. I don't know. How long is it? It's like 5 minutes though. Yeah. Damn.
It's 3 minutes 56.
Well,
do it.
Okay.
Do it. Let's roll Dan Bongino yesterday. Thank you guys for bringing it up. I'll make the decision. It should be covered. Megan, I'm glad you brought it up. Thanks, Joe. Here's Dan Bongino speaking yesterday about just the atrocity that happened with that bullet.
Well, thanks for your time. Thank you for doing this. Sound okay? Everybody hear me back there? Yeah. Great. Fantastic. Listen, let's just get right to the point. This was an apocalyptic security failure. A man was murdered in front of his family. 3 people were shot on live television, including President Trump in the head, who came within 2 millimeters of having his head explode on national television in front of millions of people. There's no sugarcoating it. It's no time for BS. Unfortunately, as Congressman Crane and Mills both indicated, the story seems to have been vanquished to the phantom zone of media coverage. It's amazing how we're still talking about JFK's assassination, but nobody seems to want to talk about President Trump being shot in the head on national television, despite the fact that we have no answers. So I have 5 minutes, so I want to keep it quick, and I want to make 3 points. I worked in the Secret Service for 12 years. I loved it. I worked with some really amazing men and women who gave everything. A couple of them literally gave everything. I know guys who've gotten bizarre diseases overseas, like chikungunya fever and protection operations. Everybody gave a little bit of something in the Secret Service, and it was a real honor to say I was part of it. But they have 3 institutional problems, I believe, in the macro will help us get to the bottom of how this Secret Service apocalyptic failure won't happen again. First, they have a technology problem. The joke in the Secret Service, which is sadly no longer funny when I was there, and it wasn't funny then either, is they rely on yesterday's technology tomorrow. Think about that. Yesterday's technology tomorrow. Everything from computer systems at waste agents' times, filling out time and attendance records they were doing, to Congressman Crane and I discussing the fact that they only implemented slings, a technology as old as the wheel, about, 5 or 6 years into my time in the Secret Service, which is embarrassing. The weaponry was old, everything was old. These are things I would have talked about sooner if they didn't create a security crisis, and I obviously didn't want to air them publicly. Now you're seeing what happens when you don't have a drone up at a site you could have bought for $39.99 on Amazon. Second, another adage in the Secret Service, you've heard even the new acting director discuss, is the more with less approach. There is no more with less, there's less with less, okay? The Secret Service more with less approach only works if you produce more. That's how capitalism works. You produce a flat screen TV that was probably 20 years ago, $10,000. It's $200 at Walmart now. They produce a better TV with less. That's not what the Secret Service did. They produced less with more. They were given more money and produced less. A 20-year-old criminal outsmarted them on a $40 drone technology piece of device. You're telling me that's more with less? That's disgusting. That's nothing with less. That's less with more. Their budget went up. You guys know, you're appropriators. You know that. Third, and I'll wrap it up with this, turn it over to Mr. Prince. The investigative mission, the Secret Service, that they're telling you they need to make them better agents is total crap. That's garbage. Their agents are talented, smart people. they can figure out how to do protection without running out cheap $20 counterfeit notes at 7-Eleven on a Friday night while the president's getting shot in the head? How is it we have a DEA, we have an FBI, we have TIGTA, the IRS, CBP, and 1,000 other entities with a $6 trillion budget, which I know a lot of you guys have been fighting against this grotesque spending. $3 billion goes to the Secret Service, and we're wasting time running out counterfeit notes. It's a serious problem, counterfeiting. Granted, it might be a legacy item. They started doing counterfeiting. That's not what we do now. Get rid of the investigative mission, turn it over to other people, let them do what they do best and should do best. Protection. Thanks a lot for your time.
All right, Dan Bongino breaking it down. I'm glad. The thing that got me the most is how the media just tries to hide like this never happened.
Yeah.
That he came within a second, a half second, a millisecond of having something happen to his head.
Yeah. And we can't forget that. And we, there's a lot of things that are still very questionable and very suspicious about this whole entire thing. Maybe one day we'll know the answers, but in the meantime, President Trump's not letting him be, slowed down by this a bit, and neither should we. We have to keep speaking the truth. We have to continue to do our homework. We have to fight for value, for integrity, for morals in this country, and to just simply do what's right. And what's happening in our country right now as we speak is not right. And it is not to the benefit of our people. It is not. It's not to have an open border and to continue to let all of these people come into our country left and right, unvetted, children going missing left and right, people being trafficked left and right. And that's not even to talk about inflation or our foreign, policy, and the wars that are going on everywhere. It's not even, there's just so much. And we just can't forget about any of it.
We won't. And that's what we continue to do on this show every day. And we'll continue to do that. We wanted to end, I know we're a little late, on something funny and good. This was families being pranked when you had people putting Harris wall signs in their yards. We have to end on a funny note today because I think this is absolutely hilarious. And I do not think the woman inside in this video was in on the prank. Here it is.
Hi. Hello there. Hi. I work for the Harris and Waltz campaign. Take it off. No, I'm going to leave it there because...
No, you're not going to leave it there.
Oh, why?
Because I can't stand them.
Do you not support tampons in men's bathrooms?
No, I don't support tampons in men's bathrooms.
Why?
Because tampons are for women. Where are they going to stick it? Up their ass? Get it the fuck out of here. Get it out of my property.
It looks good there, though. Wait, don't touch my sign. That's my sign.
I don't give a shit. They're a bunch of fucking communists.
You didn't address me by my pronouns.
What are you, a he, she? Fucking transgender is what you are.
I'm two-spirit.
Two-spirit, yes. Oh my gosh, I love it. Oh, that's some good stuff right there. And you can't be
Joe,
afraid.
is there any way you can put that on the chat line for people?
Yeah, I'll post it on Facebook.
She's not afraid. She just says it like it is. And that's part of the problem right now. Or people are so afraid to just say what is right. You are not wrong in saying that tampons do not belong in boys' bathrooms. I promise you, you are in the right. You are the smart one.
Where do they?
You
put
are
it?
the right one.
I just got to know. Where do they put it?
You know what? It's all for virtue signaling, Joe. It has nothing
I've
to do
never
with the
seen
fact that a boy
tampons in a
is
man's
going to,
restaurant. It must just be
Neither
in
have
those
I.
schools
well,
where they're doing all the bullshit.
where Tim Walz, the most dangerous man, represents. He's putting them all there. That guy, we'll get into that another day, but he just gets squirrelier and squirrelier as the days go on.
You know what I think I'm going to do as a joke here? I'm going to put a kitty litter box in the bathroom and see what everybody says.
Go for it. Knock yourself out.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
The thing is if we find Vic using it.
Oh,
that's gross.
That's when we're gonna have to shut it down.
No. That's gross. Gross.
Yeah.
No, we
Anyway.
appreciate it. Guys, thanks so much for joining us on the show. Monday, Tuesdays, Thursdays, 9 to 10 a.m. Central. We're talking about an expanded model that could be a subscription model because just people like, oh, we need you on earlier. Oh, we need you on later. We're doing this because we're told it's the best thing, and it's going great. It is. It's going very well when it comes to promoting us, our name, our brand with the algorithms. And we still have all of our content every day. Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, X, Instagram should be up and running, I believe, today. Lots of good things happening. If let us know. We'll throw that out there to see what kind of maybe a subscription model, maybe an extra 30 minutes a day, an hour. I don't know. If you guys really, really, really want us that bad, it's interesting because Joe and Megan think it's a good idea. I don't know if it does. I don't go on the record.
If they could see what goes on before and after the show
I'm
here.
wrong, I'll admit it. I don't think people will have enough people that would pay to see us.
I do, especially when they got to see
Maybe I'm not giving
what
us
we
credit.
do in here before and after. And then our conversations, you guys, you have to remember that we're only on 3 hours live every week. So the conversations and the research that goes into what we put out, they never stop. As soon as these cameras turn off, we continue to either talk about what we just talked about or something that just happened. So Vic is constantly looking at news updates. Our
personal life.
Well, yes, our personal life. We like to have a little, we like to get in here.
Now.
We like to figure out the world's problems and each other's. But you guys, it would be so great for you guys to be able to see and hear how things work, how we get to the topics. And then, you know what? You guys send us your topics too, which I get them all the time, every day. Maybe we'll just start discussing what our viewers
I'd like to put
talk
people
about.
on anyway.
Yeah.
So we love you guys. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support for Cancel This. Once again, thank you to Paul Raymond again with a donation in honor of Roz, who is a longtime listener. We are appreciative for that. And, we accept anything if anything to help us keep our free speech going and what we're doing with our platform to help us do what we possibly can. We are grateful, grateful, grateful. The donate button is there. Let us know. And if you like us, we'll go ahead and we'll say your name. If not, that's great. Or if you have a message that you'd like to get out that we'll give special messages to, let us know. So we appreciate it. And we'll be back on Thursday. Kimberly says, R.I.P. Roz. That's right. I have to assume, I don't know how it all works, but I have to assume she's looking down on us. That's for sure. For Pro Joe and Megan Marie Moret, I'm Vic Faust. Thanks for joining us today for canceltheshow.com. No doubt the fastest hour plus podcasting in news, politics. If there's a faster show, let us know and we'll get better. Love it. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.